This is Julie Hogue with the Vegetarians and Meat Lovers Split Table Recipes podcast. And I'm so excited to be here with you. I love to share food. I think food brings people together, and it's something we all need, right? It's something we all enjoy most of the time, unless you're someone who, can't taste things or whatever. That's really sad. I feel so bad for those people. But it's a communal thing, right? And even if it's not a communal thing, it's still enjoyable by yourself. So it's something that is enjoyable no matter what, but it can also really bring people together. And I cook for vegetarians and meat lovers, and it can be a challenge. Not going to lie. You don't really want to be a short order cook if you can avoid that. So I talk about lots of different recipes that work for both. And this particular recipe does work for both because you can have the meat on the side. So easy peasy. Either do the meat or don't. But you can make it, the dish itself is vegetarian with eggs and dairy. So it's not vegan. And you could make it vegan, but I've never tried that. So I can't attest if this recipe works in that way. But when I make this, I usually do ground sausage or sausage links on the side. Usually I do links because my family really likes the links. But you could do the crumbled, ground sausage, and then you could crumble it over the top, like as a topping, that's really easy, or even bacon or something like that. Okay, so this is a traditional recipe, but it's a slant on it that I changed it to my own way. Now I'm going to try some Spanish here, and I don't know if I'm going to do it right. Are you ready? Huevos Rancheros. Did I do it? I have no idea. I should ask my son. He knows Spanish. I don't even know what that stands for. What words those are in Spanish. I don't really know. But it is a meatless casserole with eggs. And so it's a great dish. I actually made it for dinner multiple times. But it's also great for breakfast, brunch, or lunch. And it is meatless, so it has eggs on it. And it's really interesting looking because the eggs are intact on top. And you cook them, and then you can take it out when the eggs reach the desired doneness that you want. And do you want them to be runny yolks? Do you want them to be runny egg whites? You get to decide. I personally like mine more cooked, but my family, some of them like it more runny. You'll have to work that out to see how you want to do it. Not being a short order cook, this is how you would make this dish. And so you're going to need one of those, 9 by 13 glass baking dishes. I'm sure you could do it in metal. I've never done it in metal, but I always do it in glass. And because I have a nice lid for it. See, I have an ulterior motive here. I have my nice lid, so I don't have to use any wrap or anything over the top. It's just put the lid on whatever's left over. And it's a great leftover, by the way. Okay, well, what do you need for this? You need 2.5 cups of mild salsa, and this can be divided. And then 1 can of fire-roasted tomatoes, undrained. 1 4-ounce can of green chilies, undrained. 2 teaspoons taco seasoning, 1/4 teaspoon black pepper, 1/4 teaspoon kosher salt, 1 can black beans, rinsed and drained, about 10 ounces, give or take, of tostadas broken into pieces, 2.5 cups of Mexican-style shredded cheese, and 2.5 cups of green onions sliced, white, tip, all the way up to the green top, baby, all of that, white to green tip, scallions. And then you're going to chop that all up. That probably takes out the longest for you. And then divide it. Then you're going to need 10 eggs and 1 cup of grape tomatoes sliced in half or thirds. You can do more if you want. They're good, especially when they're sweet. 1 tablespoon lime juice, 1 avocado chopped, and 1/4 cup fresh cilantro leaves. Sour cream, garnish as desired. You can top it with extra salsa and hot sauce as desired if you want. And so that lime juice is to keep the avocados from starting to brown. You can even add it to the tomatoes if you want. It can help them last or whatever. And I use the avocado cooking spray to spray the dish. You don't have to. You can use whatever spray you want. I just use avocado because I have it. I got it as a deal. I bought a 2-pack at Costco, so it was a really good deal, and it lasts a really long time. And I like to use avocado stuff. So that's what that is. And then, so now you're ready. And this is a really funny story, though. I have to stop and say this because my sons usually help me bring in the groceries. And I'm cooking for 5 to 6 of us, depending on if the oldest has his girlfriend over. So we have a lot of groceries at our house. Well, so they usually help me bring groceries in. And I've been using this big giant bag from Aldi, which is like this big giant square. Well, it's really big and it's heavy, but my sons, they're able to carry this stuff like no problem, right? I'm like, dying on the ground, barely able to move, but they can just pick it up and plop it on their shoulder. They often will like do this contest. Who can take everything on their body into the house, all the groceries. It's really quite funny. But this was a funny time because my middle son had a bag of potatoes, right? 10-pound bag, of course. And he took it and he threw it on top of the Aldi bag. Well, guess what was on top? You got it. It was the tostadas. I got them inside and they were completely crushed. Well, not completely crushed. They were in chunks. They were like chips, kind of. I was like, oh my gosh. And I looked at them and I said, okay, so the funny thing is, this recipe actually requires them to be in pieces. So you just like started the process for me. He felt really bad. And he's like, okay, no potatoes on top of the bag anymore. That's like when you go to the grocery store and they like put the heavy stuff on the little stuff or stuff breaks and smushes bread, crackers, chips, whatever. But it was so funny because I'm like, oh, well, that's actually the part of the recipe. So really what you want to do with this is you want it to be confluent and you're going to have them overlapping so that you cover the whole surface. And I usually have them overlapping. I don't really do like a double layer, but they overlap each other so that it's confluent. Okay, on to the directions now that we're done with the funny story. And it was funny for me because I'm like, oh my gosh, she just totally obliterated the tostadas. They weren't completely crushed though. So, which makes me think, I wonder if it would still work if they were completely crushed. This is just a state of being, right? Whether they're in chip format or or crush. Anyways, we have them, you break them up. You don't have to have them be crushed. So you can preheat your oven to 375 and of course spray your pan. And you're going to mix 1.5 cups of the mild salsa with the fire roasted tomatoes, undrained, the green chili can, undrained, and then taco seasoning, and stir that well. In your sprayed baking dish, then you're going to put 1 cup of that salsa mixture over the bottom of it, kind of like spread it out, kind of like when you're making lasagna and you spread out the spaghetti sauce or the marinara. That's what you're doing here. And so this is kind of similar to the whole idea of how you make a lasagna because it's like layers, okay? And then you're going to take 1/2 of the black beans, that's a can that you rinsed and drained, and then 1 cup of the cheese and 1 cup of the green onions with scallions, and sprinkle that all evenly over the salsa mixture. Then you're going to layer your tostada pieces over the top, making it confluent with pieces overlapping, as I said. And then you're going to start over again. You're going to start with your 1 cup of salsa mixture, and then repeat seven. This is step 7. This is where I got this 7 from. You're going to repeat step 4, which I will repeat again, is spread 1 cup salsa mixture over the bottom of the baking dish. And then you're going to repeat 5, which is spread 1/2 of the black beans, 1 cup cheese, and 1 cup of the green onions, scallions, evenly over the salsa mixture. Then you're going to do the tostadas again, the broken pieces of tostadas. Broken pieces of tostadas, that's hard to say, that your son broke with the potatoes. No, I'm just kidding. That's what happened to me. So you're going to spread those tostada pieces all over the surface to make a whole confluent layer of tostadas. They look like chips. And then spread the remaining salsa mixture across the top. Sprinkle with the remaining cheese and onions, sprinkling all across evenly. Then you're going to break 10 eggs across the top, not breaking the yolks. Weird, right? That's how you do it. And then you sprinkle evenly with salt and pepper. And then you're going to take a piece of tinfoil and you're going to spray that. So hopefully your eggs won't get stuck. One time I made this and my yolk, 2 of the yolks got stuck to the tinfoil. So I had to like knock them off. The crazy things that happen. Anyways, I spray it so hopefully that doesn't stick. But you want to like seal it. And I spray it so that everything doesn't stick. And so then you would, seal the tinfoil around the edge of the pan. And then you're going to cook it for about 50 to 55 minutes or until the eggs are set to the desired doneness. Whether you like them jiggly and, runny, or if you want them more cooked, then just, you can kind of start peeking at it. If you want, you can leave, in the end, you could leave the tinfoil off. I have done that just so I can see the doneness of the eggs. I have done that. And then the optional part is if you want meat, pan fry some sausage links or ground sausage on the side. And that can be one of your toppings for people who want meat. So it really works well as a leftover meal as well. And again, the really yummy stuff that really makes it so good is also to top it with the fresh tomatoes. Those little grape tomatoes. They're so good. And fresh cilantro and sour cream and the avocado sprinkled with lime juice and more salsa as desired. It's really good. And we've had this before recently, actually, which is what prompted me to do this podcast episode. And it's such a good leftover. And it's it's one of those meals that still tastes good or even better as a leftover. I love those kind of meals. We're such a leftover family. We love leftovers. We love all the leftovers because it's easy, fast, good. It doesn't waste things. And when I want something quick and fast, it's there. Kids come to me, I'm hungry. What do we have? And I can be like, okay, this is what we have. And I have things to say. I have options. Hey, this is what we have. So it's wonderful. I think it's a wonderful thing. And this is a good one for that. So you should try it. It's really good. And let's see what else is going on in my life. Okay. Yeah, my son just did the Duluth robotics tournament and they came in third. Isn't that amazing? They did so well. They started really low. They were down to like 37. They made it all the way to the third. And they were in the last match before the final. So that's which made them end up being third because of the number of points that they had. Even though they lost, they had third place. So this is amazing. Like super amazing. And it's such an amazing thing that they do. It's like they run it like a little business. There are people who write the grants, the kids who write grants to get the money. There's all these different departments. And my son is in the CAD team, which is part of like the design and the computer part, I believe. Computer assisted design. Is that what CAD is? I'm so terrible because I'm not really sure. It's not my thing. But anyways, and then they do these tournaments and people come from all around the world. All around the world. They had people from like China and Japan. These kids come all the way here to participate in robotics tournaments here. That is amazing. That's amazing. Last year, there was one that we watched where there were kids from India, kids from Europe, all over the place. It's so amazing. It's really great and fun to be a part of. And the kids really have a lot of fun. So that's what's going on with that. And it's kind of spring-like here. And I can say that because we have the little pond in our backyard. We don't have a real official pond. But every year when things are melting from the winter, we get a little spot, a low spot in the backyard that becomes a pond. And you can see how horrible that is having dogs that run through it and run through the mud. So I'm always happy when this stage is over with. I just want it to soak in because it gets so like extra muddy, right? But I love the spring coming. It's a wonderful thing. Well, I hope you're having an amazing March so far, and hopefully we can go full swing into spring. Hey, I made a rhyme and I didn't even try. You have an amazing day. Happy eating. Enjoy the recipes. Check out all my recipes on the podcast. You can scroll down them. And I always try to put the recipe also in there because you know what? Sometimes you're at the grocery store. This has happened to me and I've used my own website and my own podcast when I'm at a store and I'm like, wait a minute, what ingredients do I need? You can easily pull it up and look at the ingredients of what you need while you're in the store in the podcast show notes. This is why I do it. And also so you don't have to listen to me jabber and write all this stuff down. So you have it right there, right? It really makes sense. And you can check out my cookbook, One Dish, Two Diets, which is on Amazon in paperback, hardcover, audiobook, and ebook. I also have a quiche cookbook there as well. So check it all out and happy eating. Have a great day. Bye-bye.